What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined by my dad, Sean, and today at Reactions to the Classics, we enter a new decade in our top 5 albums by year draft that we've been doing. Started at 1965, and today up to 1990. It's been a very fun series, Dad.
It's been fantastic, Trey. I'm a little worried now that we're turning into this part of the music world, but you know what? I've already listened to several albums in the 90s and found some real gems. So if you guys don't know how this thing works, you go first today. Then I go second, third, you go fourth, I go fifth. It all depends on the strength of the year, whether it's an advantage to go first or not. But pay attention, boys and girls, because at the end, you're going to have to pick the winner. And as I always say, it's S-H-A-W-N, but I won't penalize you for incorrect spelling.
All right, man. Well, with that said, with that spiel going out here, I'm going to kick this thing off with one of my probably top 10 favorite records of all time right here. I'm going...
Wait, wow, my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, Sean. Cocteau Twins, Heaven or Las Vegas. Their 6th record went to 7 in the UK. A dream pop masterpiece right here from Liz Fraser and company. And it's one of those albums that you can just turn on at any point, and it's just gonna kind of take you to another world. Got a very ethereal quality to it, and it's just one that it just brightens my mood, man. So
okay.
I'm always one to enjoy it. Love the unique atmospheres that are on this record. 10 tracks, perfect length, man. It does enough to differentiate itself sonically from song to song. Keep it interesting throughout. Of course, the big ones: Cherry Colored Funk, one of their most famous tunes. Heaven or Las Vegas, the title track, is great. Road, River, Rail, Ice Blink, Luck. But you can't go wrong with any of them on here. So if you never really dip your toes into the dream pop genre, man, this is a great place to start. Make sure you have a good set of headphones too to optimize the experience.
Definitely, man. And I gave that one a 4 out of 5 when I was, so I did really like it. My number one pick, Trey, is going to be way out of the box. I'm going with Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic by the Sundays.
See, you haven't listened to that.
I've never even heard of the Sundays. This album blew me away. Debut album, 10 songs, a little under 39 minutes. Perfect. Put on the headphones, Trey, just like you talk about, and drift away. Harriet Wheeler's vocals are fantastic. Melodies are greatness. Here's Where the Story Ends. Really great top 5 UK hits, and maybe my UK brothers and sisters will know them. Can't Be Sure, also great. Worked on it for over a year. Went to 4, so it did have some success. They're married, and so eventually they didn't make very many albums. They may pop up again on another one on my list, but they didn't make that much music. But I read some stuff on them. They're still making music today, but they don't release it because one of their friends said they're such perfectionists. They just make the music.
Unique name too, the Sundays. So
now I'm going to dive right back into the mainstream though on this one. Number 2 pick, Violator. Depeche
on my
Mode.
short list, man.
7th studio album. Single upon single for these guys. We got Personal Jesus, Enjoy the Silence, Policy of Truth, 2 in the UK, 7 in the US. First top 10 album in the US. It's only 9 tracks. It's 47 minutes, but it doesn't seem like it. I think you would agree.
No, I definitely would. This is this is just an iconic album, man. If Heaven or Las Vegas wasn't, in this year, Violator would have been my clear-cut number 1. And I mean, Depeche Mode, man, just such a great catalog of
for sure,
all their 80s. But then this is their best work in my opinion.
I agree.
So starting off the decade off right there. So I can't argue with that pick.
Yeah, man. Back to you.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with a gentleman who's appeared on both of our lists in previous years. Fantastic singer-songwriter right here. One of the more unique artists, I think, too, that there's been.
Oh, for sure.
Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds here. We're going with The Good Son. Sticking with my theme of 6 records. It was their 6th album. Lighter in affair than the Tender Prey record that preceded it, but Nick is still not one to shy away from, some of the dark topics here. He says, quote, "I guess The Good Son is some kind of reflection of the way I felt early on in Brazil. I was quite happy there. I was in love, and the first year or 2 was good." So, that kind of, inspired him a little bit in just the whole Brazilian music scene. So you get a bit of influence there. Quite enjoy the title track. There's a lot of songs on here. So you have the Weeping song, the Ship song, the Hammer song, all worth the listen. And, at about, I think it's around 10 tracks. It's a pretty easy.
Great pick, man.
Easy listen as as well. And now we're going to my favorite grunge band of all time. Their debut, we got Alice in Chains' Facelift right here. The world was on notice of the great duo of Elaine Staley and the great Jerry Cantrell.
Yeah.
Their abilities right here. Of course, the biggest hit on this is going to be Man in the Box.
Especially the MTV generation.
Oh, 100%. But you also have Bleed the Freak on here, We Die Young. It kind of fused that grunge and heavy metal type of sound. I think at points AIC and Soundgarden, they get lumped into grunge, which some of their work in the mid 90s is like that. But so I have a lot of influence in the metal genre in the earlier work. So Lane Staley asserts himself here as one of the great vocalists of the genre, and just some fantastic guitar solos, staples of Alice in Chains' work as we would get going in the future. But now, kick it back to you.
Yeah, gonna go with Nowhere by Ride. Also their debut album, man. Shoegazing excellence personified. Vapor Trail's a classic.
My favorite too.
The whole album is a sonic experience. Once again, it's kind of a theme with us on a lot of our albums this time around. You got to listen to the whole thing. This one's definitely done best in one sitting. Mark Gardner and Andy Bell are firing on all cylinders. And another one of my favorites, 8 tracks, 38 minutes.
Yeah, we got a
You don't
theme
find
here.
a lot of that in the 90s, though. We're not going to find a lot of that as we go on. 4th pick. Okay, I'm really not trying to do debut albums. This is their debut and only studio album. The Laws, the self-titled. There She Goes is a classic. Yep. I didn't even know that's who sang this. I'd never heard this. I mean, I knew that song, but I didn't.
And that's one of those tracks that as soon as you hear the first chords,
you know what it is.
It's just bliss, man.
Melody's also really good. Way Out is nice. 3 years, multiple producers due to Lee Mavers, lead singer and the principal songwriter, his perfectionist ways. As soon as it was released, the band, and especially Lee, disavowed it and said, I don't like it. And I mean, when you got a perfectionist in the band, and it takes you 3 years and multiple producers, and then it comes out, it probably doesn't bode well for how long you're going to last. It's one of those things that's great, but that's all you're going to get.
No, man, I enjoyed this record as well, and I'd be curious to hear from the audience your favorite albums from groups that only release one album. Because
that's a great question.
I think the Laws would be on that list. And,
sure they would.
It's not going to be a very long list.
No, it's not.
But I'd be curious what the community thinks in that regard. But like those picks, man, and now finishing out my list with 2 very different records. But we're going to start here. We hit the 90s, kind of going to shift into that kind of a peak era of hip-hop for a lot of people right here. And for coming fresh off the NWA, we got Ice Cube long before he was in movies and TV shows.
That's right, man.
With America's Most Wanted right here. Again, his debut. We got a theme here, it seems, today. What I really like about this album, it has production carried by the legendary Bomb Squad, who did so much work for Public Enemy in the 80s. So the production here is on fire. Ice Cube brings that grittiness and hard lifestyle he knows to go along with those wonderful instrumentals. He talks about everything from the street life to drugs, racism, etc. And has some great storytelling on display here. And that intensity in his voice that almost lets you know he's a protege of the great Chuck D of Public Enemy, who actually features on this record on one of my favorites, Endangered Species. I really like the title track, Gangster's Fairy Tale, and The Man You Love to Hate. So really good effort right here. And my final pick is going to be the Pet Shop Boys with their album Behavior, man. 4th record, Neil Tennant noted it was partially inspired by Violator.
That's
so
right.
It all connects today, folks. Synthpop goodness right here. It makes you want to get up and dance. Honestly, some of the 80s Pet Shop Boys stuff I like but don't love. This record is my favorite by them from all the ones I've heard. I particularly enjoy My October Symphony, which features the great Johnny Marr on guitar. And
Johnny pops up everywhere.
Dude, he really does, man. This Must Be the Place I Waited Years to Leave and Being Boring are also really solid. You got those soft vocals from Neil coming in, which work well with the more upbeat type of sense. So that closes my list off. And what's your final pick?
I'm gonna finish it off with Pixies and Bossa Nova, their 3rd studio album. I think it's a significant departure from Surfer Rosa and Doolittle. Valoria and Dig for Fire are highlights for me. I still think it's good. I think it's just hard when you set a bar so high. So for me, that was my 5th pick. I had a few things in contention, Trey, which when he gets our honorable mentions, one of the things that was in contention was Sinead O'Connor's "I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got" was up there.
That was very much in contention.
That was it was right there between those
for
two.
me as well. I thought that was a really good record. I also got a couple hip hop honorable mentions. Ghetto Boy, self-titled, produced by the great Rick Rubin. Also Public Enemy's "Fear of a Black Planet." I also enjoyed a couple metal releases. Painkiller from Judas Priest, as well as Rust in Peace, Megadeth's arguably most famous album. That'll get you up and going. Shout out thrash metal. And then I also I know you're not high on this band, but
I'm not.
The Black Crowes.
But everyone else was at the time.
Shake Your Money Maker, man. A lot of great hits on this one, and it is just on the outside looking in.
They can shake that thing right off my headphones, my man.
I like it. So that's gonna wrap it up, I guess, from here today. Let us know, like we said down below, your favorites from 1990 as well as who you think won, and we'll be back with one of the more loaded and acclaimed years in music, 1991.
Yeah, definitely loaded, guys. And if you'd like to support us in any way, we really appreciate it. Check out the Patreon link below or the Patreon link on the end screen. Also, check out our live streams and our Facebook group.
And until next time, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Happy listening, and we will see you.